As long-term viewers of the channel and people who follow me on Instagram would know, I am an 80s, 90s kind of guy. From my 88 Honda Civic to my 87 Accord back there, I'm trying to go for a late 80s, early 90s aesthetic, and I try to make that shine through in my clothes and my car. Not only because the aesthetic is nice, but because I personally believe after 2001, the car scene in the United States kind of fell off a cliff. With the advent of OBD1 and 2, cars got not only more difficult to work on, but more expensive, and these are all barriers of entry that I just don't have to deal with the B series. Don't even get me started on maintenance mode. And it's because of all of that that I really do believe that sitting right in front of me is JDM car engineering at its finest. Not only the greatest engine, but the greatest engine platform to come out of Japan, or anywhere for that matter. Don't believe me? Well, stay tuned. Now, to really sink our teeth into the B series and the B20 specifically, I could just sit in front of an Integra Type R and start rambling off Wikipedia numbers like a couple channels I know. But in true car guy fashion, I think it's more appropriate to find an example of this engine that's actually been touched. The love child of one particularly crazy and kind of stupid Honda boy who prefers fuel efficiency and reliability over cargo fast. Luckily for y'all, that's me. Every Japanophile and Honda boy's best friend. The guy she tells you not to worry about, and quite frankly, a guy who's not afraid to take out a stop sign or two. And that's what this show is about. I'm not just some guy who's gonna sit in front of a green screen and rattle off information about an engine or car that I don't have any experience with. Stay Tuned is supposed to be a show where I personally impart all of the knowledge I can onto you. Not because I got this information off the internet, because I learned these things firsthand. But before we go into my personal experience, allow me to be a little self-indulgent and explain to you why I think this is the greatest engine platform, not just from Honda, but out of Japan, Europe, and America, period. The B series puts the B in Honda boy and is called God's engine for a good reason. Think about it this way. The B series of engines is the Japanese equivalent to the Chevy small block.
Hey, Bubba, I got a 350 small block.
They're light, easy to work on, have all kinds of aftermarket support, and any information you could need from maintenance to modification, from boost to oil changes is available in either the factory provided manual, the aftermarket manuals, or a Haynes guidebook. And if all three of these fail you, you have every forum post in existence to go off of. The lightweight aluminum die-cast block that comes standard in every one of these engines, as well as an overbuilt oiling system, means that bottom-end failures on these things just don't happen. It's a Honda, so if it's not leaking or burning oil, it just doesn't have any. But all of these are relatively easy to fix because, well, it's all right there. Although many JDM engines from competitors like Nissan, Toyota, Mazda, Subaru share some or all of these traits, absolutely none of them have the ace that's hidden under Honda's sleeve, and that is VTEC. I know you already know what VTEC is. It's been covered ad nauseum, but I get my turn, damn it. VTEC, short for variable valve timing, I'm not doing the spiel, essentially gives you two different cams in the same head, allowing you to go from a economy-sized egg stick to a much larger, almost stage 2 sized cam, so you can force more horsepower out of the same block. VTEC is very cool and very race car, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start at the very beginning of the B series and work our way towards the B20. The first of the B series engines was the LS engine, or the B18A and the B18B. These 1.8 liter beauties are typically known as the LS variant and are very, very common in Civic swaps and the like. They handle boost very well, and while they didn't come with a VTEC head from factory, you can pretty easily have one slapped on top as long as you have the right ECU and can wire in a solenoid correctly. In their stock, naturally aspirated form without a VTEC head, they pumped out about 140 horsepower, which isn't perfect, but for a 1.8 liter back in 1990 to 2000, that's really good. The birth of VTEC came in 1992 and 93 with the Integra GSR. This lower capacity 1.6 liter engine with its VTEC head was able to squeeze out 160 horsepower. That's lower capacity and higher horsepower than the LS variant. The B16A was also thus the first ever production engine to get more than 100 horsepower per liter. And all of that brings us neatly to the B20, which was available in the first gen and only good gen CRV. Now, because of its heritage with a very heavy, non-sporty family-oriented SUV, the CR-V, the B20 has a lot of nasty rumors in the Honda boy community, and I'd like to put some of those to rest. As you can tell, this thing is definitely my favorite, and I'm gonna try to convince you why. Rumor number one is, quote, the cylinder walls on the B20 are very thin, and when they get too hot too quickly and are allowed to cool too quickly, they will warp or crack. Now, this is partially true. As a matter of fact, the B20 is kind of cheating here. It is a bored out B18, allowing it to reach that 2.0 liter size. Now, because of this, the cylinder walls do tend to be a little bit thinner than you would want, and thinner than they are on the B16 and the B18. That said, however, I've owned 3 of these, and that's never really been a problem for me. And if you're gonna be turboing one of these, you're gonna wanna forge the internals anyway. And besides, as long as you don't boost this thing and you leave the internal stock and slap a VTEC head onto it, you can get pretty equivalent power numbers to a small turbo build out. With just a VTEC head and a really good tune, I am squeezing 230 horsepower out of this 2.0 liter inline 4 engine because of that VTEC head. I'll put on screen what the stock CR-V horsepower was. That's insane. Rumor number 2. The B20 block is kind of unsafe when paired with a VTEC head because the stock CR-V rev limit was about 6 to 6,500 RPMs, and with a VTEC head, this thing will want to rev to about 7 or 8. This is also somewhat true. Like I said, the block is out of a CR-V, which has about a 6 to 6,500 RPM rev limit. So the block isn't ever really expecting anything more than that. But unless you're living at Redline, which I know some Honda boys do, you really shouldn't see any of these issues. All that said, 2001 was the last year of production for the B series, and Honda moved in their new favorite children, the K series. Now you can see K series swapped into everything from dual motor Z's to E36 drift cars, but in my opinion, they don't even hold a candle to the B series. K series engines, in my opinion, are harder to work on, their parts are more expensive, and the parts availability alone just isn't as good as the B series. A lot of this has to do with the fact that every single part in a B series engine can be swapped from the 16 to the 20. All of that's interchangeable. That also means that every single part that was made from the beginning of the B series till now is not only available, but really affordable because it's had a long time to hit mass production. All of this paired with K series still being stupid expensive to get your hands on, the L15 just existing, and the absolute difficulty of doing anything with a J series V6 means the B series isn't going anywhere. The affordability of this engine platform is a big reason why Honda is so ubiquitous in tuner culture. And it's my opinion that if it wasn't for the B series, Honda wouldn't be where they are today. And that's why it's God's engine. Hi there, my name is Shimmy. I am the owner and operator of Giga Performance in Austin, Texas. We're a Honda performance garage who have some lofty goals of getting performance stuff done, but realistic goals of just keeping these old cars on the road. Behind me, you can see my baby. This is my 1988 Honda Civic sedan, which you will get more information on Monday of next week. And behind her is my 1987 Honda Accord hatch. It's got pop-ups, she's my daily, and I love her to pieces. If you want to stick around, I am committing to do 2 videos a week here on this channel, and any support you could give me would be a huge godsend. I found that doing daily shorts isn't really worth it, nor is it actually possible with my schedule, and I'm hoping you guys can come along and support me trying to get this business off the ground before the end of the year. With all that said, happy December, Merry Christmas, Hana Kwanzaa, and I'll see you guys in a couple days. Remember, stay tuned. Jimmy here. It is now, what, like 9:15 a.m. the day this video is going up. I wanted to throw a reminder at the end of the video that Giga Performance is now open. Our days of operation and hours are on the screen now. If you have any Honda or any car for that matter that needs to be looked at or checked out, I'll beat anybody's price in town. Anybody who's in Austin or the surrounding areas that needs work done, I'm trying to get rent paid for this garage. So please, please bring me your car. Please bring me your car.